No one cares about the French. You can be racist about them.
That was a loud clap. Thank you, God. Welcome to the show that we do.
Yep.
It's the Daily Placeholder. It's what it's called because we forgot to name it. We're going to keep the energy up this week because we always do it very late. But we're just gonna try our best to do a fun thing. We gotta make it fun and pithy. And there's no news this week.
No.
There's basically no news, so I didn't print anything off because there was no point. So we'll have to just act like we have papers. I would like to say that I love doing the show with you.
Let's do it.
And we have fun every week doing it, except for I didn't want to do it last night because I was tired. So this may come out later than usual, but maybe not.
It's called being professional.
It's called being professional. We get it done. We say all the news so you don't have to look it up yourself. That's our catchphrase. Mm-hmm. Just do like the tagline for Anchorman.
Well, that's also the Nostalgia Critics thing.
Oh. I don't really follow the Nostalgia Critic. The most Nostalgia Critic content I see is although either fake or real thumbnails that I see on Twitter retweeted by you.
Well, it's hard to tell at some points.
I know.
Because even the one that makes them up posts the real one sometimes.
That's a good bit.
Yeah.
Okay, so we got the cast of the new Pinocchio remake, live action, all female. It's not all female.
If only.
Benjamin Evan Ainsworth is going to be Pinocchio. He was the hysterically blind kid from Flora and Ulysses.
It's a weird thing to include.
I know.
In a movie.
It's based on a kid's book, so maybe it was more charming in the book. Or maybe it just didn't get canceled because nobody read it.
Also possible.
Joseph Gordon-Levitt is Jiminy Cricket. That's a great casting.
Yeah. That's the role he was born to play.
I hope Jiminy Cricket's middle name is Robin. Cynthia Erivo is going to be the Blue Fairy. Good for her. Was she Harriet? Or am I thinking of somebody else?
Definitely someone else.
Okay.
I think. Was she in Widows? Was that the one she was in?
Widows?
Yeah.
Let's find out. Let's Bing this on my handy-dandy laptop that I'm using.
Because I know the tall woman from Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2. She was in it.
That's her name, is Tall Woman. I would like to know what movies she's been in. She was Harriet.
No.
And she was in Widows.
Ah.
And Bad Times at the El Royale.
Oh.
And she's going to be in Chaos Walking.
Ooh. Drops off at the last one. I haven't seen Harriet. I don't know.
Did it win an Oscar?
Might have. Costume?
It was at least nominated for multiple. I think a song from the movie was nominated.
The famous Harriet song.
No, I think Cynthia Erivo performed a song for the credits or something.
But she was good in Bad Times at the El Royale. I just couldn't remember her because I think she had long hair. Or
yeah,
probably a wig.
It's hard to tell. It's hard to remember actors when they're in period clothing. Keegan-Michael Key is going to be Honest John, who's the fox from Pinocchio.
But the big question, will he be a fox?
Oh, I would assume so.
I mean, how far will they go into this? Because this movie involves a giant whale and kids being turned into donkeys.
That whale is going to look terrifying in live action.
Or terrible.
Oh, no, just terrifying. I don't want to watch this movie now. That whale just chomping up everybody. It's scary in the original cartoon from when I watched it as like 5 years old or whatever.
And kids being turned into donkeys.
That's also terrifying. And then we got Lorraine Bracco as Sophia the Seagull, who's a new character. I don't know who Lorraine Bracco is. Let's find out.
Just what Pinocchio needed, more characters.
Yes. She was in Goodfellas.
Yeah. And only Goodfellas.
And Hackers. Getting Gotti. The sequel or prequel to Gotti. It's not connected.
The Dream Team.
Sure.
It's a good movie.
Haven't seen it. Being Human. I don't think that's what I think it is. And not really anything else.
So just Goodfellas and the Dream Team.
I guess, yeah. I haven't seen Dream Team.
You should.
I also haven't seen Goodfellas.
Who cares about that one? It's like 4 hours long.
Probably. We
Oh.
here at the Daily Placeholder are against Goodfellas.
Yes.
And anything over 90 minutes.
90 minutes is the only good movie time.
93 minutes is perfection.
Hmm.
But 90 minutes is a good, safe bet.
But no one makes those kind of movies anymore.
That's true. Although, wait, there was some movie, or maybe there wasn't, that I saw recently. Maybe Barb and Star was 90 minutes. But I can't remember that for sure. Alright, next piece of news.
A Quiet Place, Part Soon. A Quiet Place, Part 2.
The dose.
Yeah.
Roman numerals.
Has for once in its runtime been moved up.
As in sooner.
Yeah. From September, whenever,
Yeah, who cares?
to May 31st, 2021.
Nice.
Does anyone care about A Quiet Place anymore?
I don't, but I'll watch it. If I have to pay $20 for it, I'm not gonna watch it.
Because the first one came out, everyone loved it then. It was like, woo. But I feel at least like some people in there, like we might be getting to the point where it might just be tiring to see John Krasinski.
I don't think John Krasinski. I think just the whole movie. Like the first movie was good. It's just, like how the first It movie was a cultural phenomenon, or like the 2017 one was a cultural phenomenon.
And the original.
Well, yeah, but
Because it had Tim Curry.
it's true. But and then the sequel just didn't really do much.
Well, plus it was 3 hours long.
God. Again, we're against any movie that's over 93 minutes long.
I will say, the movie itself was good.
Yeah,
It's just
Chapter 2.
waiting through it was not good.
Same with Doctor Sleep.
Yeah.
Was too long.
But that was less good.
It was less good. I thought it turned into more of like a superhero kind of like blockbuster movie towards the end, when they should have just kept with the kind of Shining-esque moments.
I hear that the director's cut is better, but again, that's like another who knows how long.
Now, to be clear, we are against any movie that's over 93 minutes long on the show, unless
Don't say.
it is Zack Snyder's Justice League.
To clarify, that's all him. I'm still against it fully. In fact, I'm going to say it now. I'm against any and all director's cuts. I don't care who you are.
Even the Donner cut?
Even
For
the
Superman
Donner- well, except for that
2?
And Superman 2. Except for that one.
What about if the Ayer cut for Suicide Squad ever comes out?
I will kill someone.
Just anyone off the street.
If it's David Ayer first, then so be it. But yes, anyone else.
Alright, developmental achievements time is our favorite segment. Mattson Tomlin is developing an animated series based on The Terminator for Netflix.
An anime series.
What I read was animated, but since it's Netflix, it probably is an anime. Did you see that, I think the anime Big Robot one, Pacific Rim, is out.
It's already out, which felt like we had another month, but
I'm not gonna watch it.
me.
Unless I'm just like strive for content, which at this point will never happen.
Oh, plus we're supposed to be getting that Kevin Smith He-Man anime.
Oh yeah, I wonder if he's still doing that. I hope so. I want him to make more things. I didn't watch his last movie.
I don't think I'll watch any of his movies.
Silent, what's it? Silent Bob and who?
Jay and Silent
Jay and
Bob
Silent-
go to Vista Del Mar.
Jay and Silent Bob reboot.
Yeah,
I didn't watch that because apparently it was bad, but I really respect that he just makes whatever he wants.
that was fair. You know, I was watching a random pilot because sometimes I just like to watch random pilots of shows that have an interesting premise.
Mm-hmm.
This one was called Reaper. It was
Okay.
about a guy whose parents sold his soul to the devil when he was born, so
That's-
that his dad and their life could be better. So then on his 21st birthday, the devil comes to him and is like, "You're going to take souls that escaped hell back to hell for me."
Okay.
And once I got to the end of the episode, it was like created by Kevin Smith.
Was it a good pilot? That's fair.
It was good for the time. It was like 2000s. It could have been a lot
Oh,
worse.
Okay, yeah. And secondly, a prequel/spin-off series to SpongeBob SquarePants is in development, and it will be titled The Patrick Star Show. Just continuing to rub it in the ashes of Steven Hillenburg's face. Because the creator of SpongeBob, did not want any prequel shows made about SpongeBob or the characters. And then he died, and they put Camp Coral into development.
And this.
And this now.
Space Jam: A New Legacy.
Yeah.
We still haven't seen a trailer. We've only seen
That's true.
images.
Snippets and images.
But the director, who I'm going to quickly bing again because I forgot his name.
LeBron James himself.
LeBron James.
Daffy Duck is directing Space Jam: A New Legacy.
Also don't know if it's still being like heavily involved with by Ryan Coogler. This movie's 2 hours long.
Space Jam?
A New Legacy.
We're against it.
Okay, now this is good because I'm actually looking forward to it. But okay, so the director of Space Jam: A New Legacy, Malcolm D. Lee, has come out recently, and he said that Space Jam: A New Legacy is better than the original. So at least LeBron has that going for him.
Wow, bold move. I mean, I won't doubt it.
It's blasphemy, first off.
Because obviously Space Jam is the greatest movie of all time, but it's not great.
It's no Looney Tunes back in action.
It is no Looney Tunes back in action, which is the greatest movie of all time. But Space Jam is the greatest movie of all time, but it's bad.
Yeah. I mean, I think both it and Looney Tunes Back in Action. I actually think Looney Tunes Back in Action is a good movie, like genuinely.
I think it is too, but I should rewatch it.
But Space Jam isn't a good movie, but it is an enjoyable movie and weird.
Yeah. I think if Michael Jordan could have acted better, then it would have made the movie better.
But I mean, it's a good use of the animated characters doing what they do.
Definitely.
Next to the human people, even though they suck for the most part.
And also, I don't blame Michael Jordan for not being able to act, because that's not his job.
But it does work when characters are making fun of him.
Yes. I hope they make fun of LeBron.
It's probably going to be jokes that he's not Michael Jordan.
I wasn't going to bring this up because it's not really news so much. It's just the synopsis for Space Jam. But since we're talking about it, it's going to include cameos from The Matrix, Mad Max, DC, Casablanca, and it will have LeBron James and his son traveling through the Warner 3000 Entertainment serververse, whilst Algae Rhythm tries to steal LeBron's Instagram followers.
It's a really weird plot for 2 hours, especially.
I am so excited for this.
I mean, yeah, I'm excited. It's just a weird movie.
For any amount of runtime.
Yeah, but 2 hours.
And Algae Rhythm is going to be played by Don Cheadle as well.
Oh, do you know what other movies Malcolm D. Lee has directed?
I do not know what other movies Malcolm D. Lee has directed, but go ahead and tell me.
Girls Trip.
Oh. Okay.
Barbershop. The Next Cut. Night School.
No, that movie wasn't terrible.
It wasn't good. So they're going through the serververse. We're going to have a bunch of cameos from all their properties. That's probably what the 2 hour runtime really is.
I hope so.
Because, like, in the crowd shots, you can clearly see, like, Hanna-Barbera characters, other movie characters, movie locations. And apparently, they're going to have to go on a quest to find all the other Looney Tunes to form the team again. And all they said so far is Lola Bunny, who there's been a lot of talk about.
Yeah, because she's not sexy anymore.
Who cares? Because that's the furries. Is going to be on Themyscira.
Oh, okay.
To find herself. And Bugs Bunny has been banished.
From Themyscira?
From wherever the Looney Tunes hang out, I guess, in the Looney Tunes world.
What did he do?
Is this fallout from the original movie, for where he gave them the secret stuff that was just water? And then they found out in this movie 30 years later.
Who banished? Did all the tunes just, like, decide that he's banished? Or do they have, like, a leader?
He is the leader.
I know. Who's the leader now? I mean, Daffy Duck would try to be.
I guess we'll find out in Space Jam: A New Legacy.
I hope it's just a series of references.
It very well might be.
When does it come out? Let's find out. Space Jam. Space Jam. A New Legacy. Release date. Oh, July 14. So we got a few months.
We should have a trailer by now.
Well, we don't have a trailer for Black Widow, and that's supposed to come out on May 7th, I think.
That might never come out.
Or 1st. I don't remember. Or care. Trailer trash time. We got sort of a trailer, but not really, for Jupiter's Legacy, which is based on a comic, which is why I brought it up. Oh, wait. I'll cut that out, because you have comic stuff to talk about.
Right. Comic stuff.
Comic stuff. That's the new comic segment, is comic stuff.
Joining the long, and I was going to say proud, but not really, legacy of taking a character and having them fight everyone is Shang-Chi.
So before this, Deadpool has killed the entire Marvel Universe.
Twice.
Apparently the Punisher has.
Punisher twice. The Avengers once. Deadpool twice.
The Avengers, like the team?
Yeah.
Why?
They had a series where it's like everyone's a zombie, but they're not really zombies. They're doing cannibalism.
Oh.
And in one of them, it was the Punisher. That's the one that started it. And he was the only one who didn't get infected. And then the Avengers one was a prequel. So kind of, sort of.
Huh.
And then there was another Punisher one where instead of mobsters killing his family, superheroes were having a battle, and his family died in the crossfire of that battle. So then a bunch of people who got hurt by heroes or villains, superpower people, hired the Punisher to kill them all.
That's sort of interesting.
It's not very good.
I wouldn't imagine so. Most comics aren't.
And then there was the Deadpool ones, where Deadpool found out he was a fictional character.
Yeah.
And decided to kill everyone, because he lost the voice in his head that was more comedic, and was replaced by a more serious one that wanted to kill everybody.
Yeah. I've read that one. I like that one. I don't like his costume very much in it.
Well, he starts off with a normal costume, then he gets tattered.
Yeah, over the course of the time. So yeah, now apparently it's Shang-Chi.
Yeah.
Which is what Kevin Feige said when he announced the movie.
I mean, I think you can say it either way. It doesn't really matter. I think Shang-Chi sounds better, but maybe you do say it, Shang. I haven't ever heard it. Shang-Chi has never appeared in anything media related, so I don't know how to say his name.
It's just written. I'm just going to go off of what Kevin Feige said. Shang-Chi. So now he's going to kill the whole universe for some reason.
It looks like it might be another zombie thing, but who knows? I'm just glad he has a series. His only recurring series, really, has been the one from the 70s, where it's like Shang-Chi, Master of Kung Fu, or Deadly Hands of Kung Fu.
Dang.
He only gets like miniseries or is placed on the Avengers like once.
Well, now he's getting his own movie.
Yep.
Which is good, because I like him. Although I don't think I've even ever seen him in anything.
Because he literally hasn't appeared in anything up until this point.
Did you have any breaking news? I mean, did any breaking news just break?
Not recently, surprisingly.
Okay, that's fine. Now it's time for a trailer trash, which is our favorite segment. It's first of all, we got sort of a trailer for Jupiter's Legacy. It was more just like a way to show off pictures from the show.
Yeah.
But it's based on a comic, and I don't know anything about it. So, can you explain the comic that it's based on?
So, Jupiter's Legacy and his other sequels is basically if you took Superman and heroes like that, but from the Golden Age, where he's like, I'm throwing this green car at people. That's what's really happening on the cover. I didn't know if you knew. Superman's actually throwing the green car at people. He's not saving them. It was like, what if Superman got his powers then, but still aged? And then he also has a family and friends who he also gave superpowers to. And then it's like, what if the world had one family of superheroes throughout, like, decades? And then it's them being like, well, we saved the world over and over again, but, like, could we do more with the world? Like, helping the economy, politics, whatever. And certain sides of the family are like, yeah, let's do that. And then other sides are like, no, let's not do that. That's stupid. And then after a certain point, the story takes a turn where it does, like, a jump in the future and everything's bad. But I don't want to do any spoilers.
Yeah, I haven't even heard of that before this
That's actually what most of the book is about.
Okay, cool.
But I don't know if the series will be like, here's one season of normal things, then cliffhanger.
Kind of like what Preacher did.
Yeah.
Where it starts you off before the comic actually starts. Alright. So yeah, they look good, the pictures.
Yeah.
The suits look pretty good. But now, another superhero thing is called Thunder Force, which I didn't think was going to look good.
But it actually looks pretty good.
Yeah, it's got Melissa McCarthy and Octavia Spencer as superheroes, I guess. McCarthy has super strength and Spencer has invisibility. And there's also, I wasn't expecting this, but there's other people with superpowers.
Actually, the synopsis for this
Uh-huh.
was that apparently in this world, supervillains exist, but there were no superheroes.
That is fair.
So it's just going to be, there's already established supervillains. There was just no one before Melissa McCarthy and Octavia Spencer to fight them.
Cool. Yeah, I think the best part of the trailer is at the end when Jason Bateman shows up with crab claws for hands for some reason. He's like, "You'd think I was a Cancer, but I'm really a Pisces," or whatever he says.
Why wouldn't he say Scorpio?
I don't know. I don't know anything about stars.
What? Scorpion? Claws?
That would be kind of funny.
Because Cancer is a crab.
Yeah. If he was like, "It's ironic that I have claws because I'm a Scorpio." No, it's not, Jason Bateman.
And, what's his face? From Ant-Man.
Bobby Cannavale.
He's in it.
He's also in Superintelligence, which is an awful movie.
Which also shares the same director as Thunder Force.
Oh, really? Okay, and the same lead actress with Melissa McCarthy.
He also directed Life of the Party and The Boss.
That wasn't terrible, and I didn't see The Boss. Those are all Melissa McCarthy movies, though.
So this is his only trick.
Interesting.
They might be friends, who knows?
I do like that Pom Clementieff is in it, though. Because she's Mantis in the Guardians of the Galaxy movie. The second one.
Yeah, the one.
And then the last two Avengers is. And she was my favorite MCU character until WandaVision turned the Scarlet Witch into that, which we'll talk about later. So that's all for trailers.
Yep.
And now we're going to review. Ryan the Last Dragon came out, but he didn't watch it.
No.
And I did watch it, but I don't have that much to say about it. So I'll just mention it real quick. Because we did say last week we were going to talk about it. And then I watched it and I was like, oh, this is just fine. So it's pretty good. Like, it's worth watching. It's just not as bombastic as the trailers led you to believe. Like, pretty much all the action scenes are in the trailer. Like, you see clips of those. And it is beautifully animated. It just didn't connect with me as much as the movie wanted it to. And also, there's just too many characters, honestly. And I understand why they did it, because there's different, like, basically kind of parts of the country that are all against each other. And as they go on this adventure, they pick up a person from each country that are at odds with each other. And so that's how they kind of bring it all together, which is a good idea. It's just too many characters. Because then you also have the main character and her big roly-poly and a dragon. But then you have a little kid that's a boat captain. And you have a little baby that has 3 monkeys with her. And you got a big kind of buffoon of a warrior voiced by Benedict Wong. And then you got the villain. And you got all kinds of backstory. And you got her dad. So it's so much of things happening. And they do balance it well. It's just kind of, I don't know. It's worth watching, like I said, but don't go out of your way. Especially if you don't want to pay $30 for it. But now we're going to talk about WandaVision. Oh, go ahead.
There's also, I would say, the factor that this came directly after Soul.
Soul, yeah. Soul is great. I really jived with Soul.
Not as much for me, but I still enjoyed it.
Yeah, that's fair. I think even if people don't really like it, they still like it. Like I haven't seen anybody give it a bad review. It's just either either it connects with you or it doesn't. But now WandaVision also didn't connect with me that much. The finale of it. It's called the series finale. Full spoilers for this. We're gonna spend a little bit more time on this. But overall, I think it's a solid ending, It's just, it doesn't quite hit all the emotional beats that I wanted it to. And then the big fight between the two witches is basically just lasers shooting at each other.
Well, it might be a bad take to some, but I actually enjoyed those parts. Because it looked like a comic book come to life for me.
Yeah, that is fair.
I would say the Vision fight is better.
I loved the Vision fight. Vision's fight.
I liked Wanda's and Agatha's fight too.
Yeah, I just wish that like more things had happened, which is probably selfish of me, but it is just kind of her shooting fireballs at her basically. So we'll kind of go through this. It opens where we left off last week. The two kids are being strangled, and then Wanda takes care of that, and she hits Agatha with a car.
In Wicked Witch of the Westeds.
Yeah, there's a Wizard of Oz reference with the boots under the car, because that's what happens in Wizard of Oz. And then the White Vision shows up.
Yes.
And Wanda's like, "Oh man, is that you, the Vision?" And he's like, "Yes, well, no, I'm not the Vision, but I'm gonna squish your head like a grape now." And then he tries to, and then the fake Vision like comes out of nowhere and throws him into a Winnebago and blows him up. And then Wanda and Vision have a great scene where she says, "This is our home," and Vision says, "So let's fight for it." And then actually some of the Vision's fight reminded me of Colossus versus Juggernaut in Deadpool 2. And I think it's just like two CGI people just kind of hitting each other.
But these CGI people look better.
They definitely look better, especially since it's the same person.
Yeah.
It's easier to hide when you're covered in makeup though, and also like very differently contrasted to one another, because one is purple and yellow and green, and then one is just white.
But Vision, regular Vision, Mind Vision, whatever, should have been doing it wearing a sweater vest.
What, Fission? Fake Vision?
Yeah.
Okay. So we'll refer to the colorful Vision as fake Vision. Fission. And we'll refer to the white Vision as Vision.
Even though really they're both Visions, in a sense.
Until later when the Vision becomes the Vision again.
Not confusing at all.
Yeah. So then they have a fight, and then Wanda and Agatha have a fight. I think they're just kind of yelling at each other. Agatha brings out the Darkhold.
Yeah.
Says she pulls out the book and just kind of starts flipping through it in the middle of this fight, and she's like, "Hey, you're really powerful, more powerful than Doctor Strange." Let me tell you something.
In the multiverse, madness.
Doctor Strange really dropped the ball on this one.
He sucks at his job.
He doesn't show up at all in this episode, but he should have, at some point in this series, figured out that this was happening. Because Agatha found it out. And he's supposed to be protecting this world from stuff like this.
Though, and they could retcon it later probably, Agatha could have cast a spell, or even Wanda doing it could have been like, everyone can see it, but magical sense-wise, nothing.
Also, Strange could just be in a different dimension.
Or not care.
Or not care.
Just be like, eh.
I would love it if Wong's like, "Hey, are you going to take care of this?" And Strange is just like, "Nah, I'm tired."
No, that's the Scarlet Witch. She's more powerful than me. That's what the Darkhold says.
Yeah.
I'm not doing anything.
You've read the Darkhold, Wong. It's in our library. And Wong's like,
Or was.
Yes, it's in our library. And then Agatha starts freeing all the minds of the townspeople, and they're just like, "Kill us, please. We don't want to be here anymore. Will you let my kid out of the closet or whatever?" The cupboard. Or what? It's just out of their room. That's crazy. Like, they should. I understand why this was one episode, because if you did this finale in 2 episodes, it would probably feel padded out. And also, I think they were finishing up filming when the pandemic started.
Because they did do reshoots.
Yeah, they did go into reshoots, but that might have also kind of messed with this episode as the pandemic happening.
Also, there could be like an after credit scene in Black Widow that's like, Doctor Strange was shot in the streets. That's why he couldn't come.
What was I saying? Oh yeah, but I think it would have been nice to focus more on the townspeople, especially with what they were going through. And while this is happening, we see Monica is locked up with fake Pietro, and he's not letting her out. And she's like, "This is so weird. This is he's like, "This is my man cave." And then she looks through some files, and she's like, "Agatha doesn't live here. You do. Your name is
Ralph
Boner."
Now, is it upsetting that is it not as good that he wasn't Pietro from the X-Men movies? I just wanted him to be a Pietro. I didn't really want him to be that one because those movies suck.
I wanted him to be that one.
We did get a boner joke, which I think is our first boner joke, second boner joke in an MCU property.
What was the first one?
Well, it's not really a boner, but Stark in Avengers says, "Do you play hide the zucchini?"
Oh yeah.
Though one detail I did like is that Ralph Boner is an actor. He had a headshot.
He has a headshot.
Yeah.
That's hilarious. See, I was a little pissed off about it, but since the episode came out, I have definitely come around on it because it's so bold of Kevin Feige to get everyone's hopes up and just make it a boner joke.
Got him.
That's so funny.
So, in some ways, maybe that Ralph Boner's dream was coming true. Because I assume he wanted work, and he got it.
He did. Do you think he still has Quicksilver powers?
That would be really funny if he did. They could make him like the Wizard.
Yes.
Or he's like, your brother's dead. I can use his name, right?
Oh, I mean, Pietro didn't even have the name Quicksilver, so
true.
Ralph Boner could just become Quicksilver of the MCU.
It would be great if we just had a character running around, literally, in the MCU that was named Ralph Boner.
See, I have a theory that some people are thinking that Pietro Maximoff came into the MCU and then went into witness protection. I think that's too much of a thing.
Plus, how would you be entered into witness protection if you were from another universe?
Exactly. But I do think that this guy was in witness protection because Ralph Boner is not a real name.
No.
And Jimmy Woo did go to Westview for some kind of witness protection related issue.
So maybe he just happened to have super speed powers.
So maybe this guy, whose name is not Ralph Boner, went into witness protection and then went AWOL for some reason, because I think Jimmy Woo was looking for the person.
And they went to Westview.
Yeah, and then they just got sucked up into the...
Very bad luck.
Because this guy got put through the ringer.
Yeah.
And I also never noticed that he was wearing that necklace until she pulled it off of him.
Wanda should feel real bad now that she just force-pushed a random guy she didn't know.
Threw a guy. Also, it doesn't really make sense that she would think that was her brother. You could say, if it was Pietro from the X-Men movies, you could say that, like, her, just the vibe that she got from him, because he is literally Pietro, confused her, especially while she was still being confused by the Hex.
Well, it could have still been magic.
That's true. Agatha could have just magicked her to believe that. That's good. That's good headcanon.
Also, it was real random when she made him look dead. Because, that's just Ralph Boner dead.
That was just to mess with Wanda. Agatha, this whole time, Agatha's just been messing with her. All the weird stuff that happened, like with the dead Vision.
Agatha all along.
It was Agatha all along.
Do.
And then Monica leaves the house. And then Wanda tries to make the Hex go away to let all the people out. And then she realizes that Vision and her kids are gonna also go away if she does that. So she brings it back down.
But she could have just made it real small. I mean, sure, they'd have to stay in...
Just move it around with the three of them wherever they go. There's just this constant, huge red hex around them. Like a storm cloud following a cartoon character.
Yeah, that would have been fun.
Or the little cloud above Olaf at the end of Frozen, which they then got away with. Got away with, and then they're like, "Oh, you're just fine now because you're glittery."
Who cares?
The sequel.
a small reference thing when her kids and Vision are pulling apart because she takes down the Hex. That's what it's like when she does it in the comic books. When they did House of M, she did that to herself. She did that, like, whenever she makes something and she mentally breaks and it dissipates. That's what it looks like, little blocks.
Oh, cool. That's awesome. And so then everything starts closing in. Agatha closes in. Vision closes in. The government closes in because they're in the Hex now. And then they pull an Incredibles pose, which I really enjoyed. Yeah, and then they're like, boys, we haven't prepared you for this, but go screw some crap up. So Vision goes and fights Vision, Wanda goes and fights Agatha, and the kids go and fight the government. After they get shot at, or no, before they get shot at, and then freaking Hayward comes up with a Glock and just starts shooting at these twin boys.
Yeah, that's the only justification we really get, is that Hayward's a bad guy because he's going to shoot some kids.
He's going to shoot two children. Even though they're not really real, they're still real children. So Monica runs in front of him and pulls a Matrix move. And
she has powers.
She's got powers, but she like becomes sort of intangible, and the bullets go through her and then stop. And then one of them gets past her, but it's fine because Billy has magic. Although it would have been hilarious if Tommy pulls a Quicksilver move and runs in front of the bullet, but still gets shot.
And then Hayward,
you didn't see that coming.
And Hayward gets in the car. And he's presumably just gonna run them over.
And then Darcy zooms in with her Winnebago and smashes him. She has one line in this episode. She says something like, "Hope you like jail."
Got him.
And then you never see her again. When they bring her up, they're just like, "Yeah, she's gone."
She didn't want to be part of this or whatever.
And then Wanda brings back her move from Age of Ultron and does the whole like do 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 and like gets into her mind. While Vision and Vision have a heart to heart. They each put their hats backwards and they spin the chair around and straddle it. And they're like, "Hey, listen up. Theseus, he had a ship, but sometimes you gotta replace a board. But once all the boards are gone, is it still the same ship? Anyways, you're the Vision now." And Vision unlocks all the Vision's memories. And then he's like, "I am the Vision," and he just flies off. You never see him again. Maybe he killed himself because he was programmed to kill the Vision, and now he's the Vision.
But presumably now he's free of that programming.
I would assume so. Also, I don't think he has memories. I mean, he has memories. I don't think he has emotions.
He does, but he does have the spark because his eyes turn back and you see the little mind energy.
Definitely. So he could still have emotions. I just think it would be more interesting if he's emotionless now, going forward in the MCU. And then Wanda tries to get into Agatha's head, but she's like, "No, I'm a witch too, so stop." And so she stops. And then they have a big green screen fight in the sky. Wanda's throwing stuff at Agatha. She's missing a couple times. I thought that was just like her being rageful. And I honestly didn't put together what she was doing.
But it was a plan.
Until Agatha sucks up all her power. I still didn't understand what was happening. And then Agatha tries to magic, and she just doesn't. And then it was at that point when I was like, the runes! She did the runes!
It's a callback.
It's a callback to the previous episode.
Agatha probably shouldn't have mentioned that.
Idiot. So Wanda was like, "Hey, guess what? The runes, you can't do any magic.
But I can.
And then she becomes the Scarlet Witch.
She gets a real costume.
She gets a great new costume. I mean, her other Civil War costume was a real costume.
It was okay. It was just a jacket.
Basically.
I hope this look stays.
Oh, definitely will. And so she brings them both back down, and she turns Agatha back into Agnes.
Which is real messed up.
Yeah. So...
Like, no one... What's the town gonna do? Like, hey, there's that evil witch.
Yeah.
The other one.
I don't know. And so then her and Vision bring the twins back to their house. And then the Hex starts closing down. They tuck their twins into bed.
Okay. Now, this is the part where I do have a problem. Because she's ready to say goodbye to, everyone. Because she knows closing the Hex will get rid of them. That's how this works. And first off, Vision should have mentioned the other Vision. That's also messed up.
Yeah.
Like, maybe he knows that he won't have emotions, so, like, don't go after him because he won't be the same.
Oh, I didn't offer you a water. Do you want a water?
No, I'm fine.
Okay.
But I felt like Wanda should have stayed with her children. This isn't like, oh, see you later, I'm gonna leave the room. Like, she would definitely run back towards them if she was any kind of mother.
But she did say, thank you for choosing me to be your mom. So maybe there's some kind of other being.
Gods.
Like from a hell dimension or something.
Thanks, Satans, for being my kids.
Thank you, Satans. Phaeton and Waiton.
I just felt like there'd be like, she runs back, but it's too late, or something like that.
I didn't mind it so much. Because she does have a great scene with Vision, just saying goodbye, and then they're like, we've said goodbye before, so it stands to reason that we'll say hello again. That was a great line.
And also, the white me's still alive.
And also, go look for the other one. Go back to your ex.
Was it? He's like, what was the line? They said it in a really good way. Anyways.
Okay.
It was worded really well.
Was it the one that I just said? Is it, we've said goodbye before, so it stands to reason that we'll say hello again?
That might be it. I felt like there was another one. Maybe I'm just thinking of the, what is love, but...
What is grief if not love persevering?
Good lines.
There's some good lines in this show, man. And then the show, she flies off into the sunset, which is a little bit more than she deserves.
Oh yeah, she just kind of leaves the town. It's
Yeah.
like,
And Monica's like, it's okay, I forgive you.
yeah, me personally. No one else does. Which I get
Monica's
the point.
like, I'll take it, and she flies off.
I get the point she's making. Like, because Monica says, if I had those powers, I'd bring my mom back. But
Yeah.
you wouldn't bring your mom back and enslave a town.
No. You would just bring your mom back. I mean, Wanda didn't mean to enslave a town.
No.
That was more just her sitcom, like, her comfort zone. She was reverting back to her happy place, basically. And so Wanda just flies off.
And Wanda doesn't even say anything to the townspeople.
No, they all just stare at her and they're like, this is the person that I hate the most in the world. I've never felt hatred as much as I do for this woman.
She walks off like she just did bad stand-up, but no one booed. They just kind of stared at her.
That is incredible. Ow. The frick? And then there's 2 credit scenes.
Thus.
The first one is for, this lady walks up. No, first Monica and Jimmy are like, wow, that was weird. What just happened? And so, then this lady walks up and she's like, Monica, go to the theater. There's a secret for you. Yeah. So Monica goes in the theater, and then the lady's like, guess what, I'm a Skrull.
Yeah.
And Nick Fury
You're not freaking out at all, which is kind of weird. Well,
yeah.
her mom could have told her about him. Because she might want to pass that information along.
She did meet the Skrulls that were in her house as a kid.
Forgot about that. She was around. Okay, disregard.
That's so funny.
Well, she might have passed any child would be like, yeah, I just imagined shape-shifting people.
I'm sure her mom would have just been like, yeah, no, that was real. Like,
or be afraid that they would come back.
This is why I'm starting this organization where we go to space.
Though, that is the question. Is what Nick Fury's doing SWORD, or is that a different thing?
Because I think it is SWORD, because they were going to space, but then they just lost half of their personnel, so they stopped.
Well, they were really dedicated to the sentient weapons.
Yes.
Part.
I think Hayward was.
Yeah.
I think he personally changed that word from, what is it? From world observation to sentient weapons observation.
But yeah, then there's the Skrull, which at first I thought was going to be Talos' wife.
I thought it was going to be his daughter, which it could still be, but they didn't specifically say
it's
it.
Like at first I was thinking she was going to say she, meaning Captain Marvel, but then she said he, so I was like, is that Talos, or is that Nick Fury?
It's definitely Nick Fury. Talos is already on Earth.
Oh, is he at this point?
Yeah, he's in Prague, being Nick Fury.
And she's like, he wants to talk to you, and she obviously meant God.
Obviously, yeah. She's a Jehovah's Witness.
Yeah.
And then the next...
Oh, and other thing. Did Nick Fury already plan this out? Or did he's like, oh, she got power, she's useful to me now. Send her up.
I think that's it. I think he's just like, oh, dang, I need a Space Avengers. Who do I got down there? Wanda? No.
No, can't do that. Vision. Oh no.
No, he's dead. Or sort of. He's at least unbalanced. Falcon and Winter Soldier? Nah. Spider-Man, he's a kid. He already went to space, and we didn't want him there anyways. Oh, dang, this lady's got superpowers. Let's
Wait.
get her.
Another question. What was Nick Fury doing in Infinity War?
He was dead. Oh, wait, in Infinity War?
And before this now.
He could have been in space. We don't know when he went to space.
Well, no, he was on Earth when he got...
Well, that could have been Talos as Nick Fury, is what I'm saying. We don't know exactly when Nick Fury went to space and Talos took his place, which is a rhyme.
That could have been from the 90s onward.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying.
Hmm.
We just don't know.
Second post-credit, which, to me, the second post-credit scene could have been the reshoots, to me personally, because it's not heavily involved.
Yeah.
Because that could have easily been cameo if they really wanted to do something.
It also easily could have been done in quarantine.
Yeah.
Socially distanced, because it's just her in a cabin away from everything.
It's at a mountain, which, if I had to guess, is Wondergore Mountain, which is very important to, like, Scarlet Witch and Vision lore.
Oh, okay.
That's where she had her kids. That's where she met the wizard, who's like, I'm probably your dad, because your brother had super speed, so it makes sense.
I love the wizard.
You know how he got his powers?
By injecting mongoose blood into himself.
Blood. Not even radioactive, just regular mongoose
Not
blood.
even like a fast animal like a cheetah.
Just a mongoose.
Mongoose blood.
Incredible.
And then she's sitting on her porch, drinking some tea.
Really sitting on her porch and drinking her tea?
I mean, yes, but then she's also astral projecting in her bedroom, reading the Darkhold, and then she hears her kids yell out, and then she makes the camera spin or whatever, and then it ends.
Which means she's probably gonna go. That's how the multiverse breaks. Probably, if I had to guess.
She's probably gonna go find. She's either gonna go find her kids and mess up the multiverse, or she's gonna get Strange to help her with the multiverse.
And then he's like,
No.
"Get in this jail cell. Gotcha. I was late, but I got you."
Gotcha. It's playing the long haul. I think she might be the villain of Strange 2, Multiverse of Madness.
Well, I don't think she'd go to him because his place would have runes, and she knows that much now. She might go outside his house next to the big window.
That's true, because when Loki was there, he didn't really do any magic.
He just fell through that hole.
He fell through that hole for a half hour or whatever. I love that scene from Thor Ragnarok.
That's great.
And that's our review of WandaVision. Overall, the whole show is incredible.
Yeah.
It didn't quite stick the landing as I hoped it would, but also that's a matter of everyone's expectations being way too high for things that they just didn't promise. And so, otherwise, it's a really, really good show, especially the last episode, which is my favorite. Like the previous episode, I mean, which is my favorite.
It's kind of sad because I'm sure the other shows will be good, especially Loki.
Yeah.
But I think it's sad that none of the other shows will be this different from what we've seen.
You're forgetting about Hawkeye, which will be the greatest show of all time.
You know, if they got rid of Jeremy Renner, yeah.
Although What If is pretty different.
Yeah.
It's just kind of a different kind of different.
I mean, that's the one I'm most excited for. But
I think I'm most excited for Loki. And
then
Miss
Falcon
Marvel,
and the
actually.
Winter Soldier is coming out.
Yeah. I'm
It looks
excited
good.
for it. It looks good, it's just not going to be as good as this. Apparently the action is really good and kind of pushes the PG-13 rating.
It'll probably be better than Hawkeye.
I don't know. You can do some pretty cool tricks. Do you think Hawkeye's going to be set in the 5-year time between Infinity War and Endgame? Because I think it is.
I don't think any of these shows will be.
I think Hawkeye
I think we'll
be-
get like scenes in between.
Sure.
Because like with Falcon and the Winter Soldier, I'd imagine like Flag Smasher. That's
Yeah.
probably what she did in the 5-year gap. Is like, I'm gonna start a militia,
Called the Flag Smashers.
and Zemo is gonna. Maybe Zemo got snapped and then he came back.
He's like, what the frick?
Superheroes didn't do anything for this.
He comes back and he's like, this is my worst nightmare. All of the superheroes together in one place. So-
Gotta kill him and start the Thunderbolts.
So now we're gonna do our favorite segment, birthdays. Happy birthday to you. That's probably copyrighted. I don't know. I always hear conflicting things about whether that song is copyrighted or not.
I imagine it isn't, but big birthday wants you to think it is.
Not Big Birthday.
Big Birthday from regular show.
Who is... What? I don't remember that.
They had an episode where they try to write a new birthday song.
Uh-huh.
And then they have an evil... The bad guy of that episode is a cake with a human body who keeps singing Happy Birthday. And Mordecai and Rigby thinks it's played out.
Well, yeah. Interesting. I don't remember that episode, but there's a lot of episodes, and not all of them are great.
So, happy birthday.
Happy birthday to
Freddie Prinze Jr.
Oh my gosh, happy birthday, Freddie. Have you seen that video of him complaining about Star Wars crybabies?
It's great.
Like Star Wars fan crybabies? It's very good.
And he was the best live-action Fred from Scooby-Doo.
Is there another live-action Fred from Scooby-Doo?
Yeah, it's Robbie Amell.
What?
Yeah.
In what? Oh, in one of the weird spin-off ones or whatever?
Yeah, The Mystery Begins.
That's right. I didn't know that was Robbie Amell.
Yep.
That's
Stephen
funny.
Amell's own Robbie Amell.
Apparently they're cousins, but I thought they were brothers.
They look exactly alike.
Yeah.
Just with different colored hair. Unless Stephen Amell dyed that for Arrow. Who knows?
He might have.
He wouldn't grow a goatee, an actual one, a pointy one. Or wear a... Oh no.
Oh no!
Or wear a pointy hat.
Not the birthday crown.
Happy birthday to Oscar Isaac.
Hey, happy birthday, Oscar.
I always think that his name is Oscar Isaacs, because it sounds better. You know, hope he gets to be in something that isn't a bad Star Wars sequel.
He's gonna be Moon Knight.
Was that confirmed?
It's yeah, it was confirmed by Ethan Hawke.
Who's no longer going to be on Moon Knight.
Yeah, Ethan Hawke was like, he was asked what the most exciting thing is about him, about being in, like, being the villain of Moon Knight. He's like, oh, it's gonna be so great to work with Oscar Isaac.
Thanks, Ethan.
Thank you, Ethan.
Happy birthday to Olivia Wilde.
Happy birthday, Olivia.
Hope she gets to make that Spider-Woman movie.
Yeah.
Happy birthday to Chuck Norris. Not really, though. I think he's bad.
Birthday to Chuck.
Birthday. Happy birthday to John Hamm.
Oh, very happy birthday to John.
Birthday to Osama bin Laden.
I'm gonna go with unhappy birthday to Osama.
Oh yeah, I guess I should say unhappy birthday. I was mentioning that it was his birthday, not saying it's neutral.
Birthday is for neutral people.
Yeah.
Or at least people we don't entirely know how we should feel about them.
So unhappy birthday.
Unhappy
we
birthday,
know how to
Osama,
deal with.
yes.
We know that one.
Except, unless it's the birthday of the song Bin Laden. I think it's just called Bin Laden from Popstar Never Stop Never Stopping.
Yeah. Great song. Happy birthday to Johnny Knoxville.
Ooh, happy
Star
birthday, Johnny.
Of
Men in Black
Dirty
2,
Grandpa.
and Men in Black 2. And the one, Action Point.
Action
which is
Point.
actually, I like that movie.
The true story behind it I find is more interesting.
Fair.
Because it's based off a real place.
Yeah.
Happy birthday to Alex Kingston. That's a River Song from Doctor Who.
Oh, dang. Yeah, happy birthday, Alex. Good for her. For living still.
And still appearing in Doctor Who and trying to act like it's not depressing anymore.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know, actually, I don't think she's appeared in the new seasons. Probably because the Doctor's a woman.
I wouldn't know.
Happy
The Doctor's a woman. She can't be attracted to another woman.
It's unallowed in Doctor Who. There's no gay people in Doctor Who. Not a single one. That actually might be true.
I can't think of any off the top of my head, but I also haven't seen a lot of Doctor Who.
Happy birthday to another Doctor Who actor, John Barrowman.
Oh, dang. Happy birthday, John. I love that guy.
And no one else will be able to see this, but I really need you to look at this picture that they used for John Barrowman.
Okay. Oh my gosh.
He looks about 70. He just has, like, gray, whitish hair. And he's photographed at, like, the worst angle where his, like, head is, like, a little leaning. Happy birthday to one-time MCU star. Oh, no.
What's going on with you today?
It won't stay on. To one-time MCU star, Terrence Howard.
Oh, happy birthday, Terrence. If they bring him in with, like, Multiverse of Madness or something, I don't know how I would feel about that.
I probably wouldn't
would
recognize him unless he was in a War Machine armor, which he never got to wear.
Yeah, he looked at it and he said, next time.
Oh, yeah, he did.
But he did not have a next time.
Happy birthday to... There's actually no one in this section that's worth mentioning. Oh, Frank Welker.
Hey, happy birthday, Frank.
Voice of originally just Fred,
Mm-hmm.
but then he picked up and he voiced Scooby-Doo. And is still voicing him.
Yes, and still voicing Fred, obviously.
Yeah.
Be kind of weird if he didn't. Oh, I guess he didn't in Scoob.
And Frank Welker is actually... No, he did voice him in Scoob.
No, he
not
didn't
Fred.
voice Fred.
Frank Welker has actually secretly been learning the voice mannerisms of every Scooby-Doo character. So one day he'll replace them all. Happy birthday to William H. Macy.
Oh, happy birthday, William.
Happy birthday to Common.
Happy birthday, Common. I love how you're a bit actor now. A character
Just in
actor.
everything.
You're in so many things. You were in Suicide Squad. You were in Catch Me If You Can.
Was he really?
Yeah, he played a guy that they hypnotized to think he was playing a violin.
What? Didn't know there was hypnotism in that movie.
Yep. There's a lot of things that aren't real in that movie.
And finally, for the last, I'll say 5.
Okay.
First off, happy birthday and happy death day.
Whoa.
It's not what you think.
Oh.
Yeah, Ruth Bader Ginsburg.
Oh.
Yeah.
I thought you were going to say a Happy Death Day actor.
No one can name any of them.
I can. Except I am realizing now that I can't.
Exactly.
I thought I could do the main character. I can only remember her character's name, which is Tree.
This is a dumb name.
Yeah. But that actor was also in Utopia, the Amazon show, which is a really, really good show.
It isn't getting a second season for whatever reason.
Nope. I guess just nobody watched it.
Well, they should have, because it's a great show.
Yes.
Birthday to Jai Courtney.
Hey, happy birthday, John. Or, sorry, Jai.
He hasn't been in any good movies.
I just realized, going back to Utopia, you know the actor that plays Wilson?
Yeah.
I just realized he's basically an incel Jason Mantzoukas.
That is true.
Alright, go on.
Happy birthday to X-Men Origin star Will.I.Am.
Oh my gosh, happy birthday, Will.I.Am. I just watched that movie recently and it is not good. Not good
Having
whatsoever.
just watched it, can you clarify what Will.I.Am's power was?
Teleporting.
Sure.
He can just teleport. That's it.
Do they even get him back?
For what?
Because isn't the outline of the movie, like, they go on missions, and then Wolverine comes back, like, years later? It's like, we're going on another mission.
Oh yeah, he does, because he runs the boxing place that he fights the Blob in. And then he just goes with Wolverine, and he fights Sabretooth for a little while. But then Sabretooth just sticks his hand out, and Will.I.Am teleports around his fist and dies.
Don't they give his powers to Deadpool?
Yes.
Yeah. What a movie.
It's not a good movie. It might be the worst X-Men movie.
Mm.
I think it is the worst X-Men movie.
Dark Phoenix.
I think X-Men Origins Wolverine is still the worst X-Men movie.
Well, they didn't have Dazzler, so I'll give them that. It's at least more interesting to watch than Dark Phoenix was.
Yeah, but it's just bad. It's just truly awful. I think the effects are even worse than Dark Phoenix. Which, I mean, it would be because it came out in like 2011 or something like that.
The swords.
Yeah, they shouldn't have made his claws CGI. Anyways, let's move on.
Happy birthday to Fabio.
What's the actor's name? Oh, is it just... Oh, I was thinking of Rufio from Hook. Yeah, happy birthday, Fabio.
You know, I wonder what he's doing now, but at the same time, nothing against him personally, he definitely seems like a guy who would be racist. Or have very bad opinions on stuff.
Sure. I don't really know anything about him.
And finally, happy birthday.
I probably shouldn't do that because of the mic.
Yeah. To David Cronenberg.
Oh my gosh, happy birthday, David. I loved your work before you
I haven't
died.
seen. He's still alive.
Who am I thinking of then? The guy who did The Thing.
He's still alive too.
What? Why are all these people still alive?
John Carpenter is still alive.
Why
and he's
can't
a
they
gamer.
just die already? Fine, David Cronenberg.
Notable movie. I'd say probably his most notable, like for general audiences, probably would have been The Fly.
Yeah, that's the
With
one I know of. I also know of
Jeff Goldblum.
that time that Rick and Morty Cronenberged their universe and just moved to another one. Alright, what a good episode that was. I think we solidly kept up the energy the whole time.
Yep.
It was definitely a shorter episode because there was basically no news this week, but I still had a good time.
As did I.
And
we hope all of you had a good time too.
don't break the fourth wall. Don't point at the audience. No, don't be like Deadpool. You gotta be better than Deadpool.
Well, it's better. It's easy to be better than the first Deadpool.
Got him. That's not a good movie. But
Second
Deadpool
one
2 is a good movie. But I mean, they did the best with what they could do.
It was,
with the
especially
first
when
Deadpool
it's
movie.
like someone leaked this footage, make a movie about it,
Ryan Reynolds leaked that footage. We all know that.
and stole the costume.
And I do really appreciate that it's not just a chronological timeline for the first movie, because if it was just point A to point B, it would be very bland, which it still is very bland, but they tried to cut it up with going through the timeline of the movie,
And
going
it's
back and forth.
So far, the best R-rated comic book movie.
You're forgetting about Logan.
I am. But Deadpool 2 is better.
Well, that's also R-rated.
Yeah.
So Deadpool 2 would have been the better R-rated movie, but it's not because Logan is. And I'm trying to think of what other ones there are. Was Spawn R-rated?
Probably.
But it's not the best anything.
Blade was R-rated, and the first one's good.
I haven't seen any of them, but I plan on watching them at some point.
And the second one is really good, but I would assume it's R-rated, but I'm not sure.
I don't know.
Maybe Hellboy?
Hellboy, the original two were PG-13, and then the reboot is bad, so it doesn't matter. Alright, that's the end of the show. Goodbye.